Hello, hello, everyone, and welcome to another month of the Performance Group Power Hour. This is for our group at Epic Realty. This is just the Epic agents. This is not something I've put out into the world for anybody. It is only for our Epic agents. And I love this because it's just a little bit more intimate, it's more private, and we're able to ask questions and stuff. So every month I have a guest speaker into the Power Hour. And this month it is the beautiful Brooklyn Calloway from Next Chapter Social, right?
Mhm.
I know you
Yeah.
have a couple of different names, but that's what I think of it. And I love that because you know what? What are we going to do in our next chapter? I love
Yes.
that. That's such a great title. So thank you so much for being here today. And I'm just going to hand the call over to you. I'm going to allow you to share. I've done this class. I know it's amazing. So I'm super excited for everybody else to get to watch and learn what you have to share. So
Okay.
thank you.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. Thank you for having me. I actually just came telling her earlier on the phone that I just taught at the Little Elm ladies who lunch or whatever thing. And so I just taught this class earlier today live. And so hopefully the second time around will be even better than the first because that one was amazing. But for the first time ever, I said, "Do I have any realtors in the room?" And no one raised their hand. I thought, that I've never been to one of these things and there were no realtors. So I'm glad that there are realtors in the room here and this link will live on forever so that
Yes.
other realtors in the future. So whether you are watching right now or in the future, everything I'm going to teach you today is something that I've been using since 2013. And it's evergreen. It will always be applicable and it's going to change the way you think about marketing your business, and it's going to give you the tools to be able to do it effectively. Especially, I have a ton of, um, I can speak to realtors really well. I am Trek certified, not from a I can sell houses point of view, but from a CE provider. So I teach realtors all over North Texas and beyond, at mortgage companies and title companies and other real estate offices. So if you ever need anything or need some strategy or help with your marketing from a real estate perspective, I am married to a broker. So I eat, sleep, and breathe this stuff. And I'm really excited to help y'all. And please, at any time, I operate best when the audience is engaged and asking questions. So if you want to blurt something out that you're thinking of, please, you're not going to derail me. It fuels my fire. It makes me excited that people are listening. And right now I'm just looking at a blurry screen of something. I don't see anybody's faces or anything, so that makes it a little hard to see or have any feedback. But if you want to turn on your camera so that I can see you nodding your head or raising your hand or whatever, that would be very helpful for me. But if not, no big deal.
I
I can
got
read.
you. And if they post anything in the chat, I will interrupt you and ask the question. So if they,
Great.
yeah, a lot of realtors are in the cars and doing things. So y'all feel free to not turn your camera on if you're driving, but
Yeah.
if you
No,
can,
no
we would love
problem.
it. Thanks, Ruth. Ruth has got her.
Yeah. Hi,
Oh,
Ruth. Okay,
hi,
so
how are
here
you?
we go. I'm going to present, get us going here. All right, so this class is called From Invisible to Influential. And the people who I teach typically deal with something that I call IAH. Inferiority leads to anxiety and it comes out as hostility. And that seems like a really heavy little thing to talk about, but here's the way that that manifests. I hate social media, or oh gosh, social media, it gives you a headache. But really, that headache is coming from an anxiety of not doing it right because there's a sense of inferiority because you don't know how to do it right. And so I want to take all that IAH out of the equation and I want you to go from invisible online to wildly influential in your market and whatever it is that your niche is. I want you to be the person that everyone calls for that. And I'm going to show you how to do that. And I'm not meaning like in the clouds and I'm making crap up. You're going to have actual concrete things that you can do that are going to be a game changer for you to explode on the marketplace online. And there's a disparate there's a difference, let's just use that word, a difference between your expertise and the expertise that you're portraying online. And so when you're like bad to the bone over here, but you're not really showing people that you're bad to the bone over here, then it creates a sense of, oh, follow me on Facebook. I posted on Facebook most recently. But we want you to get the new shirt, have the new makeup, the new shoes, the new laptop satchel or whatever. When it creates an enthusiasm for you to get up and go to work the next day. Well, I want you to be able to up level your Instagram, your social media accounts, so that you feel super confident in sending people to them. And that confidence is an intangible thing that you're not going to be able to measure, but it's going to make a difference. So Angelin and I are social media educators, mainly me. I have a background in education. I have a master's in education. I came from 11 years of teaching, and I wrote my first e-course in 2013 after breaking a Guinness World Record. And I thought I was going to be the Martha Stewart of the craft world. That is not what happened. Instead, I had 422 women, not all of them, but my phone was blowing up with people saying, "Hey, I want to quit my job. I want to go out and I have this idea. I want to be a cake baker. I want to be in real estate. I want to do this. How did you get so many people to pay you $35 to come paint a chair on a Saturday?" And then I spent the next year telling people how I did it using Facebook and Instagram. And what I didn't realize, I was writing my first e-course. So in 2014, I wrote Done in a Day. It was downloaded over 1,000 times. And I thought, I have arrived. I'm a 100,000-aire now. Wow, education is where it's at for me. So my first e-course was then, and I've got over 50 now on our website and some for free on our YouTube, Next Chapter Social.
And
So
wait, for those who don't know, you said that you're a TREC approved educator.
uh,
TREC is Texas Real Estate Commission. So we have a lot of agents in other states.
Oh,
So,
okay. Sorry. Yes, the Texas Real Estate Commission. I'm a certified CE provider. You have to be approved for that and certified, obviously. And then we go through recertification. And then the courses that I write, I have over 50 social media marketing classes. Not all of them have been put through the ringer, because there's a price and a long 2 or 3 month approval process. So 5 of our classes are TREC certified. But the over 50 and all the blogs and everything, you can learn all kinds of social media without getting your 1 hour of CE credit. But I am TREC certified. So we are social media marketing coaches. We have a group coaching and one-on-one. And then, of course, we do done for you social media marketing. So if you have a team or a group or anything, we can do that. And we do that often. So these are just some of the accounts that we manage and have managed in our short 3 years of being in business. I had my own business, Angelin had her own, and then we combined 3 years ago. So we're a fairly new business, 3 years old, but we are not new at this. We both did it before. So she speaks at PGA all the time, and I speak for realtors all over the place. So everyone, this is the crux of this class. Everyone wants their business to be the go-to for, and then we'll fill in the blank here, real estate. But I want to get more specific with you guys. If you can, in the chat and you're able, I want you to tell me specifically what your area of expertise is. Is that a neighborhood, a river lots? Is that land, rural, suburban? What are you known for? And if you're not known for something, I do challenge you to niche down, and I'll tell you why as we go on.
so
Empty,
I'll be the
empty.
first. I want to be the first one to put that in there because I'm in the process of rebranding, and it's really funny because the market's been really crazy, and I'm with Epic Realty, and I've spent the last couple of years recruiting and really working on that, but I feel like the market is about to come back, and I just really I don't want to miss out on that. Like I don't want to be a non-producing agent. Like that's my thing. So my husband and I are recently empty nesters. So I'm taking one of Brooklyn's courses and it's showing me exactly how to rebrand myself and I love it. But I'm super excited to do this whole empty nesters thing.
I love that. So I have someone that says farm ranch, luxury, new builds. Um, I have rebrand and expand senior clients is a special area that you love. It's always nice when you love the people you work with. Um, so it's mostly education and ownership. So commercial and residential. For Stephanie, would you say that you work with first-time homebuyers that need that education? And then Ruth, your luxury, a little of all, farm ranch, new builds, private builders. Okay, got it. Condos, first-time home buyers. Okay, that's really helpful. So I'm just gonna write down this really quick.
Go ahead,
Senior.
Stephanie. Stephanie has a question.
Uh-huh.
No, I was gonna just answer the question because I'm about to walk into a walkthrough.
Yep.
I was gonna say that so my brand is like educate to own. So my whole niche has kind of just been on educating people that don't know anything. It hasn't necessarily been all first time home buyers. I actually have a lot of seasoned investors who are just kind of buying because it was like more so an emotional, like somebody else told me to buy it versus looking at the long term, like if you sell this later, is it actually going to be a return on your investment, or is it not going to? Is it going to just sit on the market or be a better rental? So it's
Right,
more
right,
so just educating them on what they're buying because I don't know if they realize this, but whether you're spending $100,000 or $500,000, that's still a lot of money to somebody.
right, right. No, completely. And I like that. And we'll work all of these examples in as much as I can throughout the actual nuts and bolts of the class. But thank you for that clarification. That's very helpful. Okay. So the key takeaways from this class, what you're going to be able to um, do by the end, you're going to have a simple three-part system that you're going to use to create your content. That three-part system is what we use for every one of our 17 done for you clients. It's everything that I teach in our content creation programs. It's what I teach in all my classes. It's the crux of everything. It is what the basis for Done in a Day, that first e-course I wrote. And it's how I broke a Guinness World Record and drove 422 people to sign up for a workshop, me by my lonesome, just having quit teaching. That's how I did it. So it has taken me far and it's taken a lot of other people far, and you're really going to love it. This three-part system is what you call a social media campaign, and it's what you'll want to use from here on out. It's so easy and simple to remember, and it's a wash, rinse, and repeat, but it's not repetitive content. I'll show you that in a little bit. How not to be smarmy. Quite frankly, I've got two types of realtors in my pipeline of people that I know. One is sell, sell, sell. My realtor rocks, posting a lot of graphics that nobody ever reads, a little bit salesy, doesn't know how to cross that threshold and be personable. So it comes off as a little bit smarmy. We are going to remove that smarm from your feed, and you're going to be like, oh, I get it. And then I'm going to take you from confused to confident. And if you don't think you're confused right now, then that's great. I want you to try to keep an open mind. And I think you're going to hear things here that you haven't heard from anybody else before. That is what I hear most often. And it's very consumable and applicable things that you can do when we get off the call. Slinging spaghetti does not produce a feeling of confidence. Um, we all have those days where we're like, oh crap, I definitely need to post something. I need to just post something. So you doom scroll, you find an idea, you make it your own, and you post. You're like, oh, good, I posted something. It is an instant gratification. It's not a plan. And it very often doesn't result in anything that converts someone into a paying buyer. Right now, your account probably feels confused, or it could be. Y'all might. Usually, when I can see everyone, I ask everyone to rate themselves on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being drooling under your desk somewhere, and 10 being the Napoleon of all things Instagram. But let's just say there are some of you on the call or people that are going to listen later that are confused as to what to post, when to post, how many times to post, why 3-minute reels, why not 1 minute and 30 seconds, whatever, confused. A little inferior when you have this other account that you follow and you're like, oh my gosh, he or she is killing it. And you compare and you're like, oh, don't look at my account. Embarrassed and overwhelmed by all the freaking things that you have to know. We're going to push that over to the side. I wish I could like literally push it off the screen. I want you by the end of this to feel confident, enthusiastic, and excited. I want you to feel like, oh my God, I got to close my laptop right now because I need to go over to my main computer and start working on this. I want you to be excited and extremely hopeful for tomorrow's post and next week's content and next month in the future. So that's my goal. 3-step system. Spoiler alert, you only have to do 1 and 2 one time. Step 1 and step 2 of this 3-part process only have to be done once. You might have to give them an oil change, quarterly, yearly, whatever, as your niche changes or something like that. But strong houses are built on firm foundations. And if you put in the work on step 1 and 2, the results in step 3 are going to be like amazing. So let's start. Step 1, super simple. Y'all are all personal brands. If you are a realtor on this call, then you are a personal brand. Now, Dawn, I'm going to say some things, and I don't know if I hope it's not offensive, but all realtors need to be building the brand of you. It's Ruth the realtor, not Epic Realty, and Ruth is a realtor. Epic has their own brand. It promotes their own thing. Your Epic's going to be on the signage, things like that. But when you are doing your social media, this is about Ruth. And I'm just saying Ruth because you're the one I can see. Okay. So your people bucket, you're going to pick 5 things that make you Ruth. I don't want 5 things that you think other people want to perceive you as. I want, if you knit cable blankets or whatever, and you're just great at that, then that's one of your 5 things. If you have kids, if you live in a 120-year-old house like I do, or collect random crap like I do, I drive a Volkswagen bus as much as I can, I collect a lot of different things. I have kids that are in every sport known to man. It's really hard. I live in a historical house. And I really love to cook. So those are my 5 things. Okay. Pick 5 things that you do often. That's not something you have to fit into your life. They are your life, and that you're willing to share online. And then those 5 things become the brand of you, because people go to the baseball game and they're like, I wonder if I'm going to see that Ruth lady. I think she has a 10U kid playing baseball. You know what I mean? So they're going to associate, and when they start to associate this new recipe that they found that they think that girl Ruth that they follow online would like, they start to associate with with things other than real estate. So now what happens is when someone sees a Volkswagen bus, they're actually thinking about Brooklyn, the girl who's really great at social media marketing. So we're constantly on the tip of their tongue for reasons completely unrelated, but that connect them to us as a person, and then therefore connect them to your brand. So you need to have 5 things. It's a long story, but I call them the JK5. That's a whole nother story. But I followed a girl from 7,000 to 1,000,000 followers, and her name was Jenna Kutcher. And Jenna Kutcher is now all over the place, and she's amazing. But she quit her job, corporate, became a photographer, bought a camera on Craigslist, and literally shared 5 things about herself over and over again. I studied her and came up with that, and it's now she's got 1,000,000 followers. So I call it the JK5. Work. That's who you are, not so much who you are, but I'll explain it here in a second. Who you are, what you do, who you do it for, and how people can work with you. The 4 questions work. Who you are, what you do, who you do it for, and how people can work with you. Those 4 questions are what need to be the 4 lines of your bio in your Instagram. Who you are, what you do, who you do it for, and how people can work with you. Now, who you are is the team lead for a 500-person team. Hello?
Oops. I don't know who did that, but I'm gonna
That's fine. I didn't know if somebody had a question.
no.
So who you are is that like top producer Collin County, #1 agent 5 years in a row, some sort of accolade. If you're new to real estate, you can say, um, sought after, everyone's favorite. If your mom said she was your favorite, then that's true. But you need to put something that shows an accolade, even if it's a little award emoji. You're not saying that you got an award. You're just saying you really want one, or something. But who you are needs to shout a little bit and toot your horn, whatever that is. Exploit whatever you have to exploit. Put that there. What you do, that's why you've got to niche down. Now, this is the part of my talk where I'm going to tell you that social media isn't about searchability, it's about being shown. Shownability. I don't even know if that's a word, but let me give you an example. I have a mentor that I work with. She's a real good friend of mine. Her name is Brent, and she has a business called She Gave It a Go. Okay. She gave it a go. She was a therapist and she gave it a go online. That's why she named it that. And she was all things Target, candles, pillows, home, decorating her mantle and her front porch, and cool recipes for kids and all those things. And what happened was last year, we were talking before a conference that we both attended, and she said, Girl, my mentor, her mentor, told her that she had to niche down. And she thought, well, I am niche. My audience is moms and it's all things home. She goes, now I want you to niche down to one room. Well, in 1 month, she broke the freaking internet because she niched down to her bedroom. And when she niched down to one bedroom, one room in her house, she made her bed on a reel every day for 30 days. New pillows, throw pillows, pre-fall pillows, the pillow wedge, the softest sheets on earth, the candles she bought, the cable knit blanket that she fluffed and threw on the end of her bed, sold out like 30 times. They keep saying, "Oh, no longer in stock," and she would have to say back in stock because she became known for the bedroom, the bedding. And because Instagram was super clear on her category, anybody that was looking for that, Instagram's like, oh, you go over here, like a Plinko chip. This is your lane over here. If Instagram can't identify you, if you're just in real estate, that's like her. I speak to all moms about the house. You have to pick an area of the house. You need to pick an area of your town and a specific buyer. It doesn't mean that you don't do anything outside of that. It means that your account won't explode if you're diluted so thin that there's no depth to what you know. Instagram needs to hear you repeating yourself that niche down. First time home buyers, farm and ranches, period. I'm just making it up right now. I know that's not, those are two different people, but luxury, define that. My Aunt Rhonda used to say, honey, you can fly with the buzzards or you can soar with the eagles. The choice is yours. That was back when I was a single mom and, dating sucked. But anyways, I digress. The same goes for social media. If you want to define yourself, and you can define yourself any way you want, take the highest margin. First time homebuyers take the most time for the least amount of money, usually. So, if I can be known for anything, maybe I should be known for luxury homes, $1 million and more, because those people have the money, often cash. You know what I mean? So Define yourself, figure it out, and then go at it with all you got. Say everything for 1 month, just for 1 month. There's an infinite number of squares. You can redefine yourself next month. But for 1 month, I challenge you to do the same. Talk about your 5 things, repeat who you are, what you do, who you do it for, and how they can work with you, and be specific. And in your value bucket, that's where you expand on your depth of knowledge. If you're trying to put if you're trying to post value, okay, which is your wisdom, your insight, things that people can't necessarily Google, client stories, things that you help them overcome, done for you, all those phone calls that you get as the advice girl. You don't have to say names or anything, but you literally use all those stories to help show the depth of your knowledge, right? But when you define your area, and let me just give you an example. My husband, we live in the rail district of Frisco, Texas. It's a little 8 by 10 block historic area. Almost all of his business has been down here. He knows about all the construction going on. He knows about every commercial development, every old lady that's about to go to the old folks home because we know their family that's about to put them in assisted living and that house is going to be up for sale and it's actually commercial and here's what you can do there because he knows this 8 by 10 blocks like the back of his hand. And so when he talks about value, he he can talk about La Finca Coffee and their new coffee. He can talk about Didi's and their specials on Friday night and the best days to go for the music because he's become an expert on this little area and the depth of knowledge. No one calls anyone else but Matt Calloway when it comes to downtown uh, Frisco. And so you want to be known for this area. He gets calls and helps people with real estate in Van Alstyne and all other because his clients refer him to other people. But Instagram knows what to do with him. It's all about teaching the algorithm where to show you. And that's the key ingredient that most people miss. So you can see how identifying your 5 things, identifying your niche and who you want to work for, right? And tooting your own horn, that's important. And the value that goes along with that. This is that foundation where this is step 1, where it's very hard. It takes some thinking and some defining, and that's the part that people don't want to do. But that is key ingredient. So I'm going to give you an example for me. People, work, and value. I own a digital marketing agency. So we have products, we have services, we have events that we do, talks that we do. So here's my work bucket just for now. These are all services we provide. No, I couldn't list out the 50 classes, right? But we do social media management for people. We teach people like we're doing right now. And we are coaches. We literally have one-on-one coaching and group coaching. So those are 3 different services, just 3. I'm going to then take those buckets and all the information that's inside of them, which is more than just 3, and it's going to be 5 for my personal, right? My people. It's going to be everything I do for work, all the products, services, and events that we have. And then my value is going to come from that, and I'll show you that in a second. So teaching is one of my services. So when you mind map it, I was an English teacher. I don't know if y'all could tell that from this, but did a lot of mind mapping when we were teaching 6th graders how to write essays. But this works. It's super easy. I teach. So in order to fill out the rest of my buckets or my bubbles, I ask myself the who, what, where, when, and why. Okay, who do I teach? Well, I teach realtors. I teach groups and entrepreneurs. Okay. So I wrote down, I'm thinking out loud, and obviously I can't go back and do my slide, but every time you do this, you're going to find new things. But entrepreneurs is one of them. What kind of entrepreneurs? Realtors, mortgage, title, PGA. I could go out from there because and I could further define entrepreneurs. Then I could talk about real estate, realtors specifically, and keep going out from there. What do I teach? I teach social media. Well, that bubble, what kind of social media? Well, I focus on Instagram mainly, Facebook, LinkedIn, Pinterest, YouTube. Oh my gosh, blogging, podcasting. Don't get me started. Could have 400 bubbles coming off that. I have certifications and qualifications and degrees and all kinds of stuff. I could say I've taught at least 1,500 classes to date, whatever my certifications. And I teach in person where, the question where, in person, and I teach digitally, both in Zoom and digital classes. I taught in person earlier today. One of my digital classes is social school. And then what is social school? And go on and out from there. So, what I'm trying to say is when you come back here and you define your buckets, your work bucket, okay, the work bucket is the one that those topics from your work bucket, all the products, the services, and the events, upcoming events. As a realtor, you also have some things in your work bucket that are neighborhoods or certain buyers, okay? So you might have, let's say, Ruth, tell me a neighborhood that you service,
Like a neighborhood or a city?
a neighborhood.
Neighborhood. We could do, it's called South Winds.
Okay, south winds. So south winds would be hanging out of your bucket right here. And then let's say that you come over here and put south winds right here. Who, what, where, why, how, when, how old is the neighborhood, who lives there predominantly, who would want to buy there, what is that neighborhood good for, young families, what amenities does it have, where is it located, why is that good, is it 10 minutes from the airport, is it walkable to all the restaurants, does it have a great 10 miles of trails. You can really define that one neighborhood. You know what I mean? You can mind map that one. Now, here is the key ingredient. When you sit down and mind map these, I want you to do this over the course of a week or two. I want you to exhaust yourself and sit down and do all this at once. It's too much. But you got to do this first. What I do, and I'm an idiot, but I can't grab it, but I have these giant post-it note markers, and I sit on the floor. I turn on some mindless television and I start mind mapping, and I'm asking myself for every bubble, who, what, where, when, why, how. And I try to get myself to go further and further out, because social media is nothing more than an infinite number of squares. Those squares are opportunities shaped like boxes, okay? Every time you post is an opportunity for you to reach through that computer and shake hands and say, this is who I am. This is what I do. This is who I do it for, and this is how we can work together. Every square. But what I want you to know is there's an infinite number of them. If I were to right now just say, hi, my name's Brooklyn. I'm a realtor in the Austin area. I am going to be a minnow in a vast ocean, and I'm never going to get found. If I go online and I talk about the, construction on South Lamar in Austin, and I start using words like, Congress Avenue, SoCo, South Congress, and start using all those trending words that are associated with South Austin, then I become more seen as an expert because I know the lingo. I know the area. I can say avoid this. It really helps me be found by the people. When people search for real estate, they don't search for South Austin. They search for a certain neighborhood or a school, or they look for a zip code around the work where they're relocating, or they're going to a neighborhood because they want to live by their best friend that just moved there for a job, or go on and so on and so forth. Nobody Googles DFW, Dallas Fort Worth. They Google the town they want to live in. Nobody knows Collin County. They know the town. So you have to start using the terminology of the people who are searching for your stuff. So I can never talk about teaching, just teaching in general on social media. I need to talk about one of these bubbles, and it's best if you talk about a bubble that's at least 3 levels deep. Okay, so now stay with me for a second, and we do have a lot more to go. So you have your 3 buckets. That's step 1. People, work, value. Identify those, make your lists. I literally have post-it notes on my big 8-foot board. You can just do it on your wall. I love post-it notes. And I have the titles, people, work, and value. And I have post-it notes of all the different ideas, all the 5 things that I talk about personally: work, product, services, events. And then the value comes from after I mind map my work. So once I mind map my work, every single bubble that is 2 to 3, 4, 5 levels deep, each bubble goes on a post-it note, and that becomes the subject of one of my posts. So I could just do a whole campaign about in-person teaching. That is one very small part of our whole digital marketing agency. But do you think I'm going to get some in-person teaching gigs from that 5-post campaign? Yes. But if I just say we teach in general and here's all the ways we do it, and I just word vomit onto the internet, that makes me seem desperate because I'm trying to cover too much and I've lost my person after the first sentence or two. But if it's all about in-person classes, then I'm going to find that right person. So it's important to niche down. So step 3, you're going to take one tiny topic, one of those post-it notes from your mind mapping, one of those post-it notes, and you're going to say it 5 ways. And this right here is our flagship. This right here put me on the map, and it's going to blow your mind in the best, simplest way. EIEIO means one subject, five ways. Educate is your wisdom and your insight. Inspire is when you show other people consuming your product or experiencing your service or something that resonates with your target audience, something that screams, "Oh my gosh, how did she know I was feeling this way?" For real estate professionals, this might be you going to Southwinds, or I may be saying that wrong, but that one neighborhood, and going and walking through the neighborhood and or going to the park with your kids and just filming, and then another family seeing their kids, through your post saying, "Oh my gosh, that looks such like a neat neighborhood. I love that neighborhood. I need to call her. We're looking to move." They need to let people see themselves interacting with you or wanting what you offer. Entertain is something that engages the senses. We're going to talk about this, but entertaining, just for right now, know that it's not the Macarena online. You don't have to dance or wiggle or anything, and you don't have to go viral. Going viral is for influencers, business accounts, which y'all are, personal business accounts. Virality really doesn't mean much because right now you only want the people who want to live in the area that you service. So I don't care if you get 20,000 views on something. That is not going to help you in almost any way because that's not dollars to donuts. That does not convert any buyers. I would rather you post 10 times a month, 2 posts one week, 3 the next, 2 the next, and then 3 the next. 3, 2, 3, 2. Very consistent. It's about consistently showing up and telling Instagram, literally, that is the trigger that tells Instagram to trust that you're going to be there and that you're going to continue to produce quality content that's on brand and on message. If you're consistent with those 10, 3 months in a row, and you're repeating your same message in your niche, that's all you got to do. That unlocks the code right there. So, inform is the who, what, where, and how much, like kind of just nuts and bolts of your work. And then offer. a direct ask to buy, subscribe or consume your product, or let me sell your house, or get a free comparative market analysis. But educate, inspire, entertain, inform, and offer is the EIEIO of the internet. So let's go back, Dawn. Okay, so let's talk. I know this is a little bit different slant, but let's talk about Epic Realty in general. Okay, just that's your product. Let's say that's your product. You would educate your wisdom and insight on why Epic is different, and you'd pick one bubble, not all the different things that I know to be different and great. You'd pick one thing and you would educate about it, whatever that is. Something you can't necessarily Google. Most importantly, and Instagram really values stories right now. If you could tell a story about an Epic, a realtor that came to Epic from whatever in their success story, or why they liked it, or whatever. Inspire, maybe a team meeting, a Zoom call, maybe you could do something like simply you walking in your neighborhood. Oh gosh.
Uh-oh. Are you dying?
No. Somebody was calling.
Oh,
I had it on airplane mode,
darn
which is weird.
Max, right?
Yeah. Oh, there we go. Okay. Can you see my screen now?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Inspire could just be, and I just saw this yesterday. This would be a great idea for all of y'all. I can't see you raise your hand, but I'm assuming all of y'all have feedback of some sort, whether it's a text message saying this process was so great, thank you for helping my mom, a review on Google, your Facebook, whatever, you're tagged in a post. Instead of simply putting that customer review in a Canva graphic on your online, use it and turn it into a case study. Sarah, and for you, Dawn, let's keep it on the focus. Let's say that it's, Sarah, I'm just making up a name, and she gave you feedback about joining the Epic team, organization, whatever, however I say that. But this is where she was. This was what she got. This was the transformation, and this is what she told you in the end. A carousel post. Now, this is free. This isn't a part of this class, but I'm going to tell you this anyway. Instagram is really pushing the face to camera reels story format because it's 3 minutes now. They want you to tell a 3-minute story. And carousels. Carousels are like those little PowerPoints on Instagram where you flip through them. The carousels, the reason why those are getting pushed so much is because, or the reason why you would want to present your information as a carousel at least once a week, because all of your followers see that carousel. It's shown on their feed. Okay. If they don't interact with it on the first day, in the first 24 hours, Instagram shows it to them a second time, but on the second slide. So it moves it over to the second slide and shows it to that account again. So you have 2 chances, and I call it hang time. When you're sitting there reading and scrolling, you're spending more time on that content. The more time you spend on somebody's content, the more Instagram shows you more of their content. So, from your perspective, if you deliver your customer review in more of a case study 4 or 5 slide carousel, yes, it takes longer, but it's going to work. The other one won't. When's the last time you interacted with a customer review graphic? Never. So I'm telling you, just the extra added 15 minutes to do it right is going to help you so much. So inspiring is showing other people that people have worked with you and they had a good experience. Entertained on, here's a good one. I have a whole list for you guys that I'll send to Dawn and she can send to y'all. You don't have to download anything or whatever, but it is a B-roll, a batching B-roll checklist for realtors specifically. Different B-roll. If you don't know what B-roll, if you watch Shark Tank and Mr. Wonderful calls it nothing burger, He's like, oh, that's nothing burger. Well, this is nothing burger. B-roll is literally if I turn my phone upside down and I put it up against my Ricolas because I had a cough earlier, and I film myself. You can see this, and I just film myself typing. That's B-roll of me working. I put text overlay on the screen, Dawn, and maybe it's a quote about taking the leap, following your dreams, or whatever would inspire someone to want to take, their future success in their own hands and join the Epic team. Bank a bunch of those really cool quotes from Pinterest. I always go to Pinterest and I save a bunch. Take that quote, put a text overlay over you typing with a trending audio, and that will be your highest performing post. It is so good. And the hang time is you typing. It's you moving. Instead of a picture of you going and just smiling with some words over it, that's not engaging. But the video of you typing, that it's called a visual hook. So B-roll is just a bunch of crap that you can go through you could go on one day at the beginning of the month, take a Sunday, get cute or don't, whatever, get dressed up, put your suit on, whatever it is, and go out and film all these little 20-second snips of you making your coffee, washing the dishes, folding some laundry, cheering at a baseball game, whatever, school drop off, walking your dog. Film your B-roll. I call it stacking ammo. Put it in a little folder on your phone and you can pull it out for those times that you need it. So now we're entertaining with you typing a quote that's kind of inspiring and some trending audio, and then in the caption you can talk about joining your team. Inspiring is that case study with the review at the end of someone that has joined your team. Educate is a story where face to camera you can tell the same story that's in the case study but deliver it in a different way of you with your face to camera. Inform is the who, what, where. What is Epic Realty? Like what in the hell is it? I don't know, right? So you just tell them the nuts and bolts, when it was the in the inception of the company, how many people are there, what makes them different, all that. And then your last one is the offer. Hey, join my team. It's the buy my crap post. And I say that with love in my heart because I say that no matter what we're selling. But these four earn your right to sell. If you educate and you inspire and you entertain, inform, and then offer, you've earned the right to sell online and you've walked your potential customer or client through it in a way that is a natural next step. Of course, you're going to offer for me to join your team now. So you've taken that one tiny topic and spoken about it 5 ways. So just to go back one more time, you've got your work bucket. You fill in your buckets, all your topics, then you mind map your work topics. Okay. You can also mind map your people topics, but those usually happen naturally and you don't really have to do that much. But work you do. Mind map each one 3 levels deep, create a bunch of post-it notes, or my business partner loves spreadsheets. I don't know why, but she does, and she loves it, and she crosses them off. It's great. But you can keep going back to these bubbles over and over again, because again, we're training Instagram what to do with you. So EIO is your social media campaign. So let's move to this.
We have about, I'm sorry, Brooklyn, I have another class that starts at 4 o'clock, so we can't go over.
I'll wrap up.
I really want to let them ask any questions. So if we have about 4 more minutes, that'd be awesome.
Yes. So basically, if you're wanting to know how you can use this right now, the best way to do it is go to your Instagram, write EIEIO down the side of your paper, and take that and audit your top 9 posts. Let me get past this. Okay, so pretend that you can see this, but if you were to draw a nine box grid that's the top 9 posts, the most recent 9 posts on your Instagram, and you wrote the letters EIEIO EIEI, notice that all the posts around the center are earning your right to sell. So if you repeat this, then those are 9 to 10 posts per month. I want you to look at your 9 box billboard, that's what we call it, and I want you to just do little hashes. How many educational posts do you have? How many inspiring? How many entertaining? How many informative? And how many offer? You're going to see that you're missing some. And those are the ones you need to add into the rotation so that you have a well-oiled machine. If your account is kind of like a just limping along, it's because you're not leading them to the water. You've got to do that. And you've probably not done the foundational work of defining your buckets, mind mapping your tiny topics, and then turning them into 5 post campaigns. So that is the crux of everything. I'm going to just kind of move through this. One of the things, once you do come up with those 5, is you're going to pick your tiny topic and then you're going to say, okay, what's my educational post? What's my inspirational post? What's my entertaining post? What's my informative? And what am I selling? What I want you to do is think about how you could convey that content, just like I did with Dawn. I said B-roll. I said face to camera reel. You need a graphic carousel for that. Think about what it is you need to achieve those results. That's your click list. That is your to-do list. And oftentimes you already have the crap on your phone, unless it's a carousel, and that can take you maybe 5 to 10 minutes, 20 if you're new at it. But Instagram, I'm sorry, let me exit this really quick and show you, and then I'll open it up for questions for the last 5 minutes. Instagram carousel. Okay,
I
so watch this.
also, by the way, so I am recording this and I'm going to put this in my YouTube channel and I will share it in the performance group, but also I'm going to connect to it the class that you did a few months back for one of my groups on the Instagram profile. That's like an amazing class. So they're
Yeah,
going to
for
get
sure.
that too.
Yeah, so I just want to show y'all really quick. Here's an Instagram carousel. There's literally 20,000 uh templates for this. So I'm going to customize this, but the key ingredient, and this is actually in the real estate marketing masterclass. You have a $200 off coupon. People can take it. They just can't join in on the calls because they're over, but there is a really great class. But anyways, here's a carousel. I'm going to click on brand over here and notice I have Next Chapter Social as a brand. I also have Spirit of a Hero, Eugenia, Drip Bar. I have all different kinds of brands, but we're just going to go with my Next Chapter Social brand. And I've got several color palettes here, and I want to just use my 3 color palette. So I'm going to click on that, and then I'm going to click Apply to All Pages. Because I've preloaded this in here, it's already changed it to all of my colors for every single page. All I have to do is change the words. If I want to change the fonts to my branded fonts, I go down here to my branded fonts. See, the Next Chapter Social is pulled up. I want it to be American Typewriter. I'm going to make that a little bit smaller just so it fits. And then watch this. Move it, and then I'm going to change all. So I need to go on to every single one, make the font slightly smaller, but it's now branded with my fonts and my colors. I go over to the brand one more time, go to all the logos that I've preloaded in there, type in, click on Next Chapter Social, and then I move that to wherever I want it to go. So it's very easy to create a carousel instead of just something mundane. Don't think that it's not accessible. All I have to do is literally change the size so that my branded font fits. That's it. And then watch. And that took me on this call like what, a minute and a half at the most. But anyways, so your 5 post campaign is the EIEIO. The first thing you need to do is define your buckets. The second thing you need to start doing over the next couple of weeks is mind mapping your topics. Create all those tiny little topics from 2 to 3 levels deep, even 4. And those are what you post about. Never post about too many things at one time. You'll lose your audience and it's pointless.
Love it. Oh my gosh. So, like, you make it sound so easy.
It is.
Like that,
It's
just
very
social simplified.
Yes, yes, we have
Awesome.
a worksheet called that actually. But yeah, if y'all have any questions, just let me know. I know we don't have much time.
But follow her on Instagram. Let me get my video all done. I will get this recording up and I'm going to put all of the stuff that you guys need in that video and I will put that in the performance group shortly.
Yes,
Tomorrow, meaning.
next chapter social on Instagram. My most recent post, I have a bright blue mouth because my husband tricked me into taking methylene blue, blood flow and help you work out well. And I'm like, but he thought it would be funny. So, anyways, go check that out. Ridiculous. But
Entertaining
yes,
and
I look
inspiring.
forward to maybe talking to y'all online. So
All
thank you
right,
for
you guys, for those of you who are on here, okay, I'm going to stop recording.